Hello, welcome back. That was a longer break than expected. As you can see, I got it all tacked or basted down, but it never fails when you have a plan for the day and then all of a sudden things don't go the way you planned them to go. So I've run several errands, been to the local lake. We have a lovely lake. We have a sailboat on the lake, and there was a sailboat race today, and my husband was going to do the race committee, be the race committee for the sailboat race today. So we had to go run some errands before he did that, and then he forgot his sunglasses, so I had to take him his sunglasses. And then there was no race because there wasn't enough wind. It was just one of those days. So I've made it back. I've made it back, and we're gonna get started now. So I haven't stitched the edge, and I've kind of been debating with myself on if I'm going to stitch the edge first or if I'm just going to start stitching and go from there. And I think I've decided on just starting stitching. So I'm going to start, like I said, this square I'm going to do the Cretan stitch, and I've only ever done this one other time in a piece, and I'd done a practice stitch and I liked it, but I did a smaller one and I didn't love it. But I think the problem with why I didn't love it on that piece was because I did it in a smaller scale, but I also did it in a color that kind of fades off into the background. So I actually think I'm going to pull that attempt at Cretan stitch and start it again, do it again. But anyways, we're going to come about a quarter of an inch from the side. And that's probably less than a quarter of an inch, so it'll probably be in part of what gets cut off, but that's okay. Now then, I'm going to attempt this the way Jennifer Clouston says to do this, and her way looked way easier than the, I guess, traditional way to do this. So I'm hoping she's right, because the traditional way is a bit difficult. Down. And I am going to do it a little bit larger again, keep the chunky look. So keep it under here and then flip it. Aha, it did work. It did work. Then we'll come over here and we're going to, so like I said, on the tacking stitches, the basting stitches, when you're just holding everything in place, the exception to the rule I make as far as doing small stitches on top, because these are my little bitty stitches, like these are some different color little bitty basting stitches that I did. But then these, I have found that it is way better to do the big stitches on the pieces, like where your pieces connect at, so that they don't shift and wobble on you while you're stitching. I have found that is way easier. And again, I didn't tie any of these off back here. There's all still just loose threads back here. So as I work, and I come to places where I've completed stitching, I can just easily just pull those stitches out, and everything will just still stay in place and be perfectly fine. So let's continue our Cretan stitch. And the problem with making this, like I said, I'm going to do a double row of this, but I'm not exactly sure how uh, double, how that double is going to go, if I'm going to do it directly on top or if I'm going to do it staggered yet. I'm not sure. So I'm going to play with that when I complete the first row. So I'm going to keep them all about the same because I want it to look like chicken fence, chicken wire. Okay, so shout out to Jennifer Clouston, and I keep wanting to say Clouston because for us Americans that's how her name is spelled, but she pronounces it Clouston, so I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. But shout out to her for the much easier way to do this. Wow, that was handy dandy. Wish I had seen her video before I attempted the last one. And then flip it down. Check it out. That works so well. I feel like this might be getting bigger than I want it to get, so I'm going to bring it back in a little bit. A little bit more. I'll gradually bring it back in. I don't want to do too much. Too big of a jump at one time. It's really easy to do that because or for me it is, like both times I've done it, I'm like, ooh, that just gets bigger and bigger. You're trying to stay stitch width, and it seems like the stitch widths just keep getting further and further away. So try to keep that better lined up there. That's better. You want to keep your tops pretty close. And flip it down. Okay. Love. That is working so well. Again, thank you so much, Jennifer. That was handy. Ah, that makes me like the stitch so much better now because I'm not constantly rotating my material trying to do that top stitch, bottom stitch, top stitch, bottom stitch. So if you want to learn, if you want to see how Jennifer says to do it, I will definitely tag her in this and link her video for this stitch in here because gosh, that made it so much easier. I really like the look of this stitch, and again I was like, ooh, that to me it has a honeycomb look, hexagon look, honeycomb look, but it's if you've ever seen chicken wire is kind of in that hexagon shape as well. So that's why I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do like a second staggered row in here or a staggered row on top of here. So I've yet to decide that. You can see those little straight stitches are holding those larger openings down. So I'm not yet sure how I'm going to do that. But we'll get there, we'll figure it out. Yep, and I'm going to be like slow with this. So sorry, if you feel the need to speed this up, by all means, go ahead and speed it up. Because I do feel like I am slow at some of this sometimes, just trying to make sure that I line it all up correctly. Again, gaining that confidence and getting that comfortableness with stitching and knowing where your stitches are going and you're putting them where you want to go, I think is just a thing of practice and a thing of just consistency. Just continue doing it, and then they'll eventually get there. They'll end up. You'll get the more obviously the more you do it, the better you get at it. So I don't know if y'all can hear it, but something has upset our chickens out back. Apparently, they are letting us know something's going on out there. I really do like that. If you can do this stitch and do it the traditional way, kudos to you. I have not been doing this long enough, and this actually, I didn't learn this stitch until about a week ago. I saw this stitch for the first time about a week ago, and I was like, oh, that's really pretty. I really like the look of that. But I did not realize doing it was going to be so difficult. Or at least that first go around. Beside that, oh, I slung the needle down. I'm about to have to towel and get some more. And I did 6 strands. This time I did 3 strands on the first square that I did. I was pulling On the first square that I did, I used 3 strands on everything. Knowing where to tie this off at. Go back up, and then I think I can take it down there, and then I'll just come back up on the other side of that again and just pick up from there. Yeah, that's getting really tight. Getting short. Come on. I had cleaned up my workspace here. Oh, and I forgot to show you. So I'll do that real quick while I thread my needle and cut off some more strands. I forgot that I had found some animal shapes and different shapes so that I could, because again, I can't draw, not a drawer. But this way I can trace shapes onto material and I can either cut them out or I can stitch the shape. So I had an egg shape, a broken egg shape or a hatched egg shape, however you want to look at it. And I had a rooster shape. I also had a chicken shape with a hen, but I didn't think I would be able to like show that correctly. So I went ahead and I cut out this little egg shape and I cut out the rooster shape. And this was done, I did this with a water erasable pen. I hope y'all can see that. I'm not sure if that's showing up. But it's just a water erasable pen. So, and then I like, you know, obviously the shape had like all this other stuff, not much else going on with the egg, but so I can hopefully when I get it stitched down wherever I put it, and like putting it on the material, I'm like, it's kind of like disappearing, it's fading, like it just doesn't show up as well as I thought it would show up. So I'm either gonna have to do this in a darker material or I'm gonna have to use darker stitching on it to make it show up. Not sure yet, so I don't know. Those make it scrap too. Not sure yet, but as of right now, that's where that's one of the little extra things that I found that I was like, oh yay. I tacked it too far down and it's needs to go. So I was able to come up a little bit above that so I can make it pull back over. Right there in those little fray pieces, it's going to be kind of difficult to catch good material to make that. Oh, I did that too short. Oh, let's pull that. Let's pull that and make it a little bit wider. Don't do that too often. Pull stitches. Most of the time I'm like, I can live with it. That one I just could not. My air conditioner at home is cutting on. I don't even know if y'all can hear it here because it's not quite as loud as the one at the store. It's not a big industrial air conditioner like what I have there. So y'all might not be able to hear it, so it might be okay. But if you can, sorry, it's not very loud, so it shouldn't mess with any of the sound. Today is actually hotter here than it was the other day. Again, we're into October. This is, what is today? Today is the 6th of October, I think. Maybe this, no, it's just 6th. Yeah, today's the 6th of October. So, And today it's currently 82, and the high today is 84, and the humidity, whew. Oh, I didn't do that. Y'all, I can't talk and stitch at the same time, apparently. And I think I made that one too short anyways. Ooh, and I pulled. Now then, I can't chat and stitch at the same time, apparently. Let me go over a little bit further. I'm losing that stitch to the fuzz, but it'll have to be okay. Again, keep that under the needle. Oh, well, I didn't even rethread the needle, did I? Good grief. Nope, can't chat and do things, apparently. I forget to do all the stuff. So, if you watched the video from the other day when I was doing the horse square, that air conditioner is an industrial air conditioner, and it is loud. This is just your standard home air conditioner, so it's not very loud, thank goodness. I don't think it'll be messing with the video today. That last one too wide. Let's see if we can bring it back in again. Bring it out. Not too far. Okay, very nice. This probably would be easier if I had drawn lines of where I wanted my bottom to be, my bottom stitch to be, and my top stitch to be. I might be able to go a little bit faster. But it's okay. Like I said, speed it up. You can speed it up. It's fine. I know I'm slow. I will not get offended if you speed it up. Ooh, almost did it again, y'all. Told y'all. Can't speak and stitch at the same time, apparently. Although I do like this, I was recording the video and then going back and put the audio in over it. That is much harder. Like, having done it this way, where I'm doing the audio while I'm doing the stitching, big difference. So much easier. Does make editing a little more difficult as far as like, ooh, wish I could cut that out. Well, if you cut that part of the video out, cut that part of the audio out, unless you unlink it, but then you still got to cut out audio of the same amount of time frame out somewhere. So, a little bit, just a tad bit wider. Oh, and there goes my nose again. Sniffle, sniffle, sniffle. Although it has been better today. But I cheated today. I ended up taking some antihistamine because I was just so over it. I'm just so tired of the sniffles. So, I mean, it is better. It's not near as much or as bad as it was earlier this morning. Something had me all tore up this morning. Sneezing and all this stuff. I swear, I think I'm just, the older I get, the more sensitive to pollen and other things I get. It's crazy. But see, this is such a pretty stitch. Now that I know how to do it in an easier fashion, but like I said, I used six strands on this so that it didn't fade off into the background, and you can really see the shape of it well. I do like it. Oops, I'm getting skinny. Getting too skinny. Gotta whiten it back out a little bit. Don't want too fat stitches and I don't want too skinny stitches, so finding the right rhythm kind of thing, but I've not yet found it, although this is easier. Oh, but now I've made them shorter. I've gone short. Goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make them longer again. Let's go. But I don't, it's chicken fence. They don't all have to be just right. Chicken fence that's been out in the weather looks a bit rough anyways. Not too big, not too little. Finding that balance is sometimes a little difficult. No, we don't have any chicken wire around our chickens. They're not in chicken, they're in hardware cloth fences, and we also have what's called a poultry fence. That's an electric wire, like a mesh wire fence. It's electric. It keeps all the critters out. Of course, it keeps the chickens in, which is what it's supposed to do. We're out here in the boonies, so we got all kinds of wild creatures out here. And we have this beautiful bobcat. And it's gotten a couple, I will say it's gotten a couple of our chickens, and he does not like it when it gets our chickens. And I understand it from his point of view, but I also still run out the back door making lots of racket earlier this morning, scaring off the bobcat. I didn't see it. We've caught it on the trail camera a couple of times, and it's huge. It's a huge bobcat. They don't normally get very big, but this one is very big. And it's beautiful. Beautiful bobcat. He's tired of feeding chickens to it, which has only gotten a few. It's not gotten like just a whole ton of them. He built a live trap that he wants to catch. And every time he talks about that live trap, I just laugh because I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and catch your bobcat. Let me know how that works out for you. It's so funny because he's a city guy. He grew up in the city, big city, pretty good ways from here, still in Alabama, but not close to here where we are. I grew up out here in the country, and we've got coyotes and bobcats and foxes and a couple of mountain lions. Those are fewer. We do have those. We even have a couple bears that travel through on occasions. And it's getting about that time of year where they're about to start heading this way to hibernate. And that's just something I've always had to contend with. I mean, like, I've not ever not known about the wild animals, having to contend with them and stuff. Like, I grew up, my dad had horses. We grew up riding horses all the time. But keeping coyotes and the bobcats and stuff like that out of the horse pasture, that was, something we had to do. A friend of mine was chased by a mountain lion while riding horseback, and I've been stalked by a mountain lion while riding horseback. Thankfully, it didn't jump out and decide to chase. I started making a lot of racket when I realized the horse was getting spooked and we were being stalked. I started making a lot of racket, talking really loud to scare it off, but I mean, those are things we do. Which now, sadly, I've sold my horses because I don't have the time to ride anymore, owning a business. And my free time now is taken up with grandbabies, mostly. And so I sold off my horse. Then my dad's horse, he got old. And then he got injured and he had to be put down. So, that looks so lovely. It's coming along nicely. Now I gotta decide if I'm gonna change color. And it's a what color? I'm afraid the yellow is gonna sink into here. But being yellow already. So maybe do brown right there. and there. And then maybe do the yellow there. Yeah, you just kind of keep mixing it up. And then again, do the brown here, here. And then I may come down on top of this one with the yellow. Let's see. Anyway, so we don't have horses anymore. We don't do any riding anymore. I still have friends that have horses and do riding. So I could go riding with a friend if I wanted to. Again, I just haven't had time. And then now we have a sailboat, so any extra time that we do get, well, if we've got extra time and there's wind is not always a guarantee around here, sadly. Well, and it's more of a guarantee in the wintertime, and that's why I hate sailing. I don't like being on the water when it's cold, because it's just doubly cold when you're on the water in the wintertime. It's miserably cold. My husband doesn't seem to mind it, but I mind it. I mind it a big deal. I really do like it. This is such an easier way. Gosh, I am definitely tagging Jennifer in this and thanking her greatly for her knowledge and sharing that knowledge on this stitch, because gosh, that just is so helpful. And again, if you can do it the old way and you like doing it the old way, kudos to you. I feel like I'm getting a little bit faster at this. What do y'all think? Oh my goodness. And I do notice that the more I do something, the better I do get at it, but also sometimes I just get like, okay, I'm tired. I don't care what it looks like. Just stitch it. Just go. I don't want to get to that point. So if I get to that point, I think I'll call it quits. But I haven't really been stitching very long right now. The store is closed on Sundays and Mondays, and while it's closed on Mondays, I still work on Mondays because I go in, I do all the banking on Mondays, but I also go in and do paperwork and all the not fun stuff and stuff that I don't get done during the week while waiting on customers and stuff. So Mondays, even though the store is closed, I'm still working. So I'm hoping to make this the making of this quilt into a series. I just do a series of videos on the making of this quilt. So I hope you all enjoy it.